Hello everyone and welcome back to another Storytime video. And today I am going to talk about the job that went away after 2 weeks. Now, finding a job, whether you have one or not, it sucks, regardless. Now, I was able to find this particular job after a couple weeks, well, like 3 weeks of searching and applying for or interviewing for jobs, of course. And uh, I was starting to really like this job. Now, it's not the first job that I've had in terms of what I do um, as a career, but so thankfully it wasn't my first rodeo um, with a job in my career. Otherwise, this would have hurt a lot more. But I was starting to really like this particular job, and then um, they all let us, or my bosses and everybody else let the whole team know um, that the the jobs that we had were going to go away, and that they were eliminating them in uh, 3 months. So, uh, thankfully, they gave us time to look for jobs. So technically, the job going away after 2 weeks is clickbait. It's technically is, technically not, because got hired then 2 weeks. They told us that, but really the job lasted longer, which I will give them credit for that. That we were able to stay on through the next few months until they phased that job out. Um, now, this now some of you know, some of you don't, but I work in IT, and these jobs were going away to the Philippines. Basically, people call up and your IT support people. That's what I was gonna do there, and so they probably gave a few months so that they could get a team from the Philippines. Probably now, this is just speculation on my part because I haven't heard one way or the other to this day, but this is what my bosses believe, and I'll get to them in a second. But for cheaper labor, basically, um, from the Philippines, so they probably had to find another team there in order to fill that role and have them work. Now, um, we didn't know at the time that it was going to be people from the Philippines. We found out during the 2.5, 3 months that these jobs were going to go away. And in terms of my bosses, I will give them a break. Um, and that they did not know. Well, they thought that it was a possibility whenever they hired myself and uh, one or two other people pretty much at the same time. But they thought that they were going to get a fair fighting chance in terms of trying to keep the team afloat. Like my team lead and my manager, they knew that the team was struggling before mm, uh, myself and the other person or two got hired on. And but they didn't tell us that, or at least they didn't tell me during the interview that um, the job was going to potentially go away. I don't know if that would have impacted my decision whether I would have accepted the job or not. So I have no clue. Like, I would like to think that it wouldn't have, but I mean, it's hard to go back in time and kind of predict how you would have been emotionally about that. At least for me, to a certain extent, about stuff like that. And so, and I was still in training when they told us that these jobs were going to go away, and I finished up the training with them, and I was then looking for new jobs, and uh, of course, and I will give my manager and team lead credit in that not only did they let us, interview for jobs even while we were supposed to be working, like during the middle of the day. Uh, like if we said, "Hey, well, I have a job interview with such and such company," they were like, "Okay, well, cool. Good luck. Do you need a job reference or a letter of recommendation or?" Well, they didn't offer the letter of recommendation, but I asked my team lead for a letter of recommendation, and uh, he did give me one, and so I will give him a lot of credit for that, because I know you could make the argument that my team lead and manager allowing myself and my teammates to interview for jobs is basically the bare minimum of what they were supposed to do. They didn't have to be a reference or give me a letter of recommendation, at least on um, my team lead side. Now, my manager had offered to be a reference too, so I don't want to say that just my team lead did, but both of them offered a reference, um, because they knew that it was a crappy situation. Um, and my team lead even had to look for another job. My manager got to be reassigned to another team, so he still stayed on with that company, as far as I know. I don't know if he's still there today. Uh, I haven't talked to him in a good bit. Not that I'm trying to avoid that, but I just don't know if he's still there with that company, or if he left, or if they let him go, or whatever. You guys know how that works. Either you quit, or the company just lets you go, pretty much. Like, that's. But anyway, so what I did in the meantime is, before I was able to find another job, is that I basically had the mindset that I was going to get all the skills that I could, because I don't know everything that I know, or I don't know everything that is to know about IT, and so I'm always looking to learn new skills and make myself more valuable as an employee and as an IT professional. So I basically took the mindset of, hey, I'm going to learn all the skills from this that I can, and use this as an audition to the next job that I have, and basically show them that I can be a good worker without them being able to see firsthand the work that I did for this company that the job was going away. Because you could take the mindset of, oh, I'm just going to really not care. Well, the company that I was employed for at that time could have let you go. Like they didn't have to keep you, and they did let somebody go during that time. And by the way, too, they were hiring people for like a month after uh they said that these jobs were going away, because whenever people leave, then yeah, I mean, the jobs aren't gone yet, so you've got to maintain uh you know some structure there in terms of a team and all that. I don't know. I think they did tell them that the jobs were going away in the interviews that they had with them, but I don't mind that, because with certain people that are trying to get more experience or their first job in IT, a job like that where a company can take a chance on you with basically no risk because the job is going to go away anyway, that might be just the shot in the arm that somebody needs in order to jumpstart their IT career. Um, so I don't mind that they did that at all. I, not to brag, but I actually helped train somebody that they hired after me because I really liked him, and he had the desire to learn, just didn't have the knowledge yet, but he had the desire to learn, and I knew that he could do well, and he was starting to do very well at that job, and be a pretty good employee, at least based on my guesstimations and what I think uh, whenever the job went away. And so, but yeah, um, and and that person that they let go that I mentioned, uh, there was some weird stuff going on with him. Like I think breaks were weird, or um, something was weird going on with him. Like I don't know, he just never seemed to have the desire, but they let him go. I'm not quite sure why. Um, I never really asked, but they let him go after hiring him for like a month. So it's not like you can exactly phone it in and go, I'm not going to care anymore. Yeah, well, they're going to let you go. That's just bottom line. And thankfully, before uh, that job went away, I did have another job lined up, and I am currently still at that job that I was able to get lined up before this job went away. And the last day of this job was actually a Tuesday. So it was the middle of the week. And that next Monday, I was employed by this next company. So I was in between jobs for 3 business days where I basically took that week and or I basically took that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I said, well, is there anything else that I need to do that I can't regularly do during business hours, or whatnot? And I just kind of chilled when I didn't really need to do anything, uh, in terms of like appointments during the day or whatnot. Um, and so yeah, I mean, I'm with a really good company now, so I appreciate that. Everything they've done for me. But yeah, so that was the story of the job that went away after 2 weeks. And I, of course, this is going to sound obvious, but I hope I'm never in that position ever again, because that sucked. That sucked. But yeah, I guess the lesson to take away from this, if you want a lesson to take away, is if you are in a crappy situation or not an ideal situation like that became, uh, try to make the most of it and try to better yourself. Um, whether it's trying to learn new skills or go back to school or what have you. Um, just try to use it as an opportunity to better yourself and never phone it in and just don't care. Like, even if you have to pretend to care, at least pretend that you care. Because that place could let you go at any time. But yeah. And sis, guys, I do believe that will do it for this storytime video and next storytime video. I will see you later. Goodbye, guys. Thank you all for watching. And